Howdy, all of you delicious people. Today, I am here to do Batman Arkham Knight's DLC, Catwoman's Revenge. At the end of the day, I used to play these without commentary. I guess I'm just going to try something different here. Just do it with a little bit of commentary. This DLC is fairly short compared to all the other ones because the things that you have to accomplish to complete this DLC is fairly simple. Uh, but anyways, Fortnite evidently is doing Batman skins on Fortnite if you are unaware. So with that said, I guess Warner Brothers was just like, hey, how about we discount some of our Batman DLCs to get people more interested in them or whatever. I finally was able to get the Adam West Justice League 3000 Batman skin because it was actually available for download. So I was able to get that absolutely for free. This DLC only costs like $1.06. I still don't really care to do the Robin DLC, the flip of the coin DLC that has Tim Drake Robin doing his story. Unless there is interest in people wanting me to do that DLC, I just don't really much care to do it. Anyways, so yeah, this DLC is very obscure, very weird for it being Catwoman. But at the end of the day, it was an interesting story. So yeah, let's go on, and I'll talk more while the DLC is going on, or while the video is going on, not the DLC. Anyways,
So unless Eddie's informant was lying to me, the entrance to Riddler's robot factory is hidden in here. Keycards on the goons. Of course. Eddie's in prison and he's still wasting my time. Can't let him see me. Easy.
really, for like,
Easy.
this is the most bizarrish Spider-Man kind of. This feels very much like Spider-Man, but it's like it's a woman and she's wearing all leather and you can basically like see everything to obscure measures. Um but yeah, this first part here is just about pickpocketing, and then because we were just pickpocketing cards. After we pickpocket cards, that is going to be why we initially were in that computer room before. So, but yeah, this DLC is so bizarre, and the silent takedowns are very ooh la la as well. So yeah, that's kind of why I went into this and did the DLC. Um, like I said, these DLCs are fairly cheap right now. So if you never got into any of these games and or you never got into an Arkham Knight game or whatever, at the end of the day, pretty much all these DLCs are basically free. So yeah, um, or like $1. So at the end of the day, check them all out. Check all the DLCs. Check out um, the stories that tie in all the other Robins. Do the Red Hood DLC. I really enjoyed that. You can see that on the channel. There's a Harley Quinn DLC, which was really fun to do. Um, like Nightwing was such a was really a bear to. It's like, man, this DLC is such a pain. But it wasn't as bad as the Catwoman DLC, which a lot of it was about timing and a lot of it was about God, this game is so obscure. This DLC is so obscure. You're just watching Catwoman just crawl on the walls. Oh, it's so bizarre. Um, but
N3. Easy. Time to head back to the terminal.
but just wait till we see the takedowns. Oh, the takedowns are so good. I really enjoy the takedowns. Um, but yeah. Let me know if you guys, after seeing this, maybe want me to go through and go all the way back.
Keys. Back to the terminal, Selena.
Go all the way back and start from like day one on the Arkham Knight story and maybe play some certain kind of skin. At the end of the day, again, I really have a lot of interest in playing the Adam West skin because at the end of the day, that's the only skin I haven't played yet. Um, but yeah.
I need to use the key cards on that computer.
But if people haven't played a Batman Arkham
Come
game,
on. 3 keys. Why is it always 3 keys?
because it's the rule of three. It's the rule of three.
Great. Better take them out before heading in.
But yeah, this was quasi edited down, as you can probably tell, because at the end of the day, like I had to figure out, like I had to refigure out the mechanics to, not only remember the mechanics of how to play a Batman game, but what the heck the mechanics were for Catwoman, because at the end of the day, each one of these characters have vastly different mechanics. So if you're very familiar with Batman's mechanics, it's going to differ from Nightwing um, to Robin to Catwoman to so on and so forth. Red Hood, Jason Todd. But yeah, this is where we can actually attack people. Before we had to do everything stealth. We just had to pickpocket them and then kind of run to the computer. Um, so yeah, during this one we can take everybody down and like some of this might be taking a little bit slower than some of the things because at the end of the day, it's kind of like a chess move. Um, you have to cleverly be able to like plop down at the right like.
Did anyone read Riddler's defense plan? No, man. That was just the intro.
But yeah, it's a lot about like doing the right thing at the right times, because like just being upside down and then you just gotta like wait till somebody gets down and or walks around in the right place and then you're just like, oh, okay, now I can come after this person. um but yeah, these games, so much fun. At the end of the day, if people have difficulty playing a fighting game, start out with a Batman Arkham Knight game if you haven't, or Batman, especially if you want to play a game that you can know how to fight somebody, play Batman Arkham Origins. Once you play that game, basically you can play any fighting game ever. Um, like basically after I played Batman Arkham Knight on normal, because I still have to do the hardest level to be able to get the Batman skin on, or Batman avatar skin for my Xbox, because that's how I would play it. I still need to get that done, because you have to play the game all the way through, and you can't die once. And I'm like, God, that was just horrible. Like these levels are so complicated to have that like safety net of being able to die, strangely enough, because some of the levels are super hard. But like if you die, you have to start the level all the way over. And there's a lot of times that you like some levels are obscurely hard to where you're just like on even on easy, it's super hard. So yeah. But I went through. I played Arkham Origins. I played it on easy. I played it on normal, and I like I tried so many times to play um like the the Dark Knight mode or whatever, the one where you can only have one life, and it's just like, God, this is so hard. This is so hard. And even like beating up like something as simple as goons, it's like, God, this is like this sucks. Um, but yeah, uh, but I've had so much fun with playing Batman games, and
It's not moving down there.
to be able
It's nothing. Think I'm losing it.
actually legitimately be able to
I see her. She's getting away.
haha, sucks to be you. But yeah, but also hear that Kevin Conroy might be actually be suiting up to play Bruce Wayne in the uh, Crisis on Infinite Earth crossover with Arrow and Flash and this and that through all those shows. Fairly interesting, fairly awesome to hear that that is going to be um, put together. All right. It is kind of funny. There's a puzzle piece that there's a puzzle piece in this game where I just kind of took the lazy way out. But now that I'm actually looking around,
I think something's moving down there.
now that I'm actually looking around the areas,
Hey, I saw something move down there.
like I can actually see how the puzzle is actually legitimately supposed to be solved. But I just kind of took the lazy way out, and I kind of just kind of like tested and just like oh, okay, like maybe this one would be the first one, maybe this one would be the first one, and so on and so forth until I tested correctly. Yeah, the puzzle pieces that are up there, you have to hit a certain amount of toys in a certain amount of order.
I'll get you.
What?
You're all mine, freak.
Luckily, the stealth part of this mission is over.
I can't help it. Now go. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, one thing,
Take her.
more than likely, a lot of people, like, I should actually probably go through and just do, like, go back and do Arkham Knight and do all the commentary for it. But at the end of the day, that's just re-putting things out there that are already put out there. And that would be a lot of work to re-put all that stuff out there.
Something under the floor.
But at the end of the day, um, I probably basically should, because legitimately, if I have to play the game all over again, like I might as well do like
Is he dead?
I might as well do commentary on it, and I might as well do whatever. But I don't know. I'm kind of indecisive about what I want to do.
Is he gonna be okay?
Ah! There's a very small number of goons left, so that's why I'm getting more and more. Um, That's why I'm getting less and less cautious. Because at the end of the day, I'm really just like going, well, there's only 3 goons left, so why be so cautious? And at the end of the day, it makes for a quicker recording time, especially for these stealth missions, because a lot a lot of the other recordings went very long, because yeah, it was so difficult to do all these stealth things and what have you, and some of the missions were super difficult. Um, like I even want to say that like in some ways like the Nightwing mission um, probably seemed to take much longer than Batgirl did. Um, because at the end of the day, a lot of that is like stealth kills, where kind of like the Batgirl DLC is more about timing. I don't know.
That's the idiots taken care of. Now for the door.
Let me know what you guys felt about all these DLCs, if you ever played them, or maybe you have interest in playing them. Because I had a lot of fun doing all of them.
See, switches and symbols, of course. Why is it never a lock? I can pick locks.
You do realize you're going up against the Riddler. The Riddler has to give you a riddle to open up the door. It's not like oh, here's this.
Missing. That's not it. So, I need to figure out the right order, I guess.
Yeah. There we go. And I know that one's the third one because it says so on the walls next to me. But I didn't see what the robot number was until just now.
That officially is the last of these damn things I ever do.
But yeah, but I really enjoy like Batman games because at the end of the day, it's a really fun fighting game. I wish a lot more games would kind of be more like this. I know, kind of in a lot of ways.
Computer! Is I your master?
In a lot of ways, the newish Spider-Man game was kind of like this.
But this is a matter most exigent.
Error. Do not understand. Oxygen.
It means urgent. Understand? Now.
Thank you, the Riddler.
Yes. You're welcome. Now, the Gotham Police Department
Drop
currently has
down.
me immured, and I...
Error. Do not understand. Immured.
It means prison, idiotic machine, confined, incarcerated, banged up. I don't know which is more corrupt, the prison industrial complex or your vocabulary files.
Thank you, the Riddler.
You're welcome. Now, computer, I believe this would be a felicitous and effective time to run the jailbreak protocol.
Error. Do not.
All right.
Your manual override activated. Begin descent.
What?
Hey, Eddie,
Catwoman.
aren't you in prison?
No prison can hold me. Hang on a second. Why, yes, Officer Cash. I'm just talking to my lawyer. Get out.
Calm down, Eddie. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to steal all your money and destroy everything you've built here. Okay?
No. I don't approve of that defense strategy, good sir.
Riddler bots. Didn't quite understand that. I was like, well, there has to be some kind of form of minions here somewhere, but the robot thing doesn't quite make sense. But I guess at the end of the day, the Riddler bots could be in place to easily be able to get Riddler his riddles out. But at the end of the day, it's also just like, it makes sense to where like Riddler can only legitimately trust himself, and he's smart enough to be able to
Remember this trick?
just be like, oh, okay, well, I'll cut you to ribbons. I think we're dodging this here. Yeah. No. That'd be the whole point of the game, to not be killed.
I can't see. Are you dead? I mean, why? That's an outrageous sale price.
Destination. Stopping at level 3.
Yay! More drone fights. But yeah,
Hurry up and shine, Cat. I'd like to avoid more prison food.
like this was my favorite part about like the Batman games was you'd have like a boatload of goons you'd have to take down, and it's like God, like I took out so many freaking people, and and yeah, like that's the whole like
Ready to die?
fun aspect of it is just like taking out so many goons. I know the newer Spider-Man game, well, newer to this time frame right now. I know that had a lot of elements of this in that, but at the end of the day, as I always will say, like yeah, but I could never get around to playing that because for some bizarre reason there was some console issue.
We'll tear you apart. In court.
But I can still play these. I don't have a problem with playing these. So alright, one goon left. Wha-bam. Alright. I just get right up into their faces. It's like, hello.
When my robots defeat you, make sure to crawl out of my lovely factory and die on the street.
Nice coat, Riddler. I know a lot of people will probably just be like, man, how, like, because a lot of people might have issues getting through a lot of the levels for a lot of these kind of Batman things. And they might be looking for, like, suggestions or whatever, if they ever want to replay it or whatever. Kind of relive the past and whatever. Get nostalgia going. What would I suggest? What would I suggest the most to be able to do these? I would suggest for a lot of people, once you figure out the button to counter things, whichever that ends up being for PS4 people, it's of course triangle. So yeah. Really, at the end of the day, I would just say for people, counter all the
Through that door. Time I got paid.
Eddie's computers for that door.
Oh, gee, it's locked.
And encrypted. So good luck.
Blueprint accepted. Welcome, the Riddler.
No!
Thanks, Eddie.
No! I won't accept a flea market!
Yeah.
Eddie, you're not going to need 2.73 million in jail, are you? They feed you for free. And what are you going to do with a robot factory while you're in there? Arrange some sort of elaborate prison break?
Please, please. Do you want me to beg? I can beg. Mercy. Mercy. Please.
All right, Stigmatite, you calm down. Get off the phone.
Bye-bye, Eddie.
Uncan and unhook me, you authoritarian attack dog. Oh, a taser? You think a taser frightens me? I am the Riddler, and you will not...
Alright, I think that is the end. Yeah. Um, so yeah, my advice for people that are thinking about maybe going into an Arkham game, really, what my suggestion would be for fighting skill would basically be, try to counter everything, and then at the end of the day, eventually you'll see an opening, and you'll realize that when it does legitimately happen. But if anything, just counter to the heavens and then eventually see that opening, and or either you're just going to be like just be countering, but then you're finally just going to hit a button to strike, and then it'll work. Because a lot of the times, like, you could be waiting for a clear cut opening and it just doesn't come, so you just kind of have to um, kind of play the game multiple times to be able to see what is the best case scenario for you to be able to strike the best. Because I played so many of these things so many numerous times over. Besides this DLC, but yeah, I had done some of these so many times that at the end of the day, it's just kind of like, okay, so it's just kind of like consistently counter and consistently, or just consistently strike, consistently counter or consistently strike. Uh, at the end of the day, there isn't like for one extra thing for Batman is he does have that extra um Kate move where he can like stun people, and that does kind of affect um, a lot of people. But at the end of the day, that's mostly goons, um, and you do have to do that Kate move really fast, really quickly. And of course, for whoever doesn't have a Kate move, then yeah, if you're Robins or Nightwings or Catwoman or whoever, at the end of the day, just hope for the best. Just hope for the best, and try to be as stealthy as you possibly can be. A lot of it comes down to pure luck. A lot of it comes down with good timing, and a lot of it comes down with um, you either striking consistently, or or countering consistently, or maybe even blocking consistently. That might work as well. For you to block consistently enough to knock this person down and to take them down. So yeah, so spamming buttons works very good. But at the end of the day, I would say counter more than anything else. And if that doesn't work, then counter until you can see a strike. And then if that doesn't work, counter still, but then maybe use if you're with Batman, the cape block, like spam the crap out of that, and then kind of fall back, and then keep countering, and then like either do a block or do a strike or whatever. At the end of the day, there's so many different ways. You just got to find the best way for you. But at the end of the day, if you play any of these games, you're going to be way better at fighting a lot of other fighting games, because basically a lot of them end up being almost the same as this Batman game. Like Spider-Man, like the newer Spider-Man, like people were struggling through that, and at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, well, this person never really played a Batman game. If anything, I would go through pretty much after Arkham Origins. I would just smoke through a lot of other Batman games, because that one feels like the freaking hardest. So yeah, if you guys really want to um, get a real video game workout, definitely without a doubt, try to do Arkham Knight Origins at the hardest difficulty you have. And if you've already smoked all the way through that, then like, I don't know what else to tell you. If you're a big Batman fan, then man, you're gonna, if you've done all the games and done all everything and done whatever. At the end of the day, like, the Telltale games were somewhat difficult for me, because you would just see buttons come out of nowhere that you'd have to push. Um, I enjoyed I enjoy the Telltale games, but at the same vein, um, I didn't like that your choices were timed. I didn't like that. Like everything was on timing. Everything was timed events, and at the end of the day, I was not good at those compared to actual legitimately fighting scenes and stuff like that. I was kind of hoping for a mix mosh between like in the Telltale games. I was hoping for a mixture of story and like fighting scenes, kind of like how Arkham Knight was. And yeah, it was all like quick time events. And it's just like, God, man, they really want you to finish this game quickly. I guess so. Anyways, I should get out of here because I've been talking for too long. Yeah, so I'm gonna get out of here. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.